Let me guess.
Plunder, true crime audio. I guess if you're going to be an agent of the law, you should always know when your body cam is activated. That's what this guy didn't know. And I know you didn't hear what I just played because I'm going to have to edit it to the heavens for YouTube. And for TikTok, apparently, they snatched it down just as soon as I put the video up over there. But not for Patreon, where you can watch it for free. This guy is saying, let me guess, effing N-words did it. And I'm talking hard R, not like, yo, my, you know. Anyway, everyone can watch this video for free over on Patreon. I'll explain it all right now. This morning, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation sent me two long videos, two body cam videos, and a few seconds of one of them, the second one, is causing boatloads of controversy and fear and reprisals and all this stuff going on over there in Colorado. So what I did was I squished them together in one long video that's about an hour and 23 minutes long or so over there on Patreon for free, the whole freaking thing that I just watched. So you don't have to be a member to pay for it, or you don't have to pay for it individually, because CBI made me sign some kind of weird thing. They've done it before, some kind of weird form about pecuniary gain, which I don't even understand, but those Colorado folks are probably about sick of me by now, I keep thinking. But they made me sign it before releasing the videos to me. So I'm no lawyer, as you guys know, but I think that means I'm allowed to put it on Patreon for free, whatever. It's over here on YouTube for free. You guys can watch it. After all, these Denver publications given these CBI hell over there, and they are publishing excerpts of this controversial audio. So I was like, let me get the entire body cam video for my viewing audience, so share it far and wide. I'm bleeping out that insult over here on YouTube, but you can hear it all on Patreon. Minus, you'll hear a few redactions throughout the whole video. Some were done by police, a few I did. I like to bleep out certain embarrassing parts when cops give me body cam, and they don't always edit out the burps and all these bodily noises. But around the 1 hour, 2 minute, and 30-second mark over there on Patreon, and you'll hear it here. Maybe I'll drop it right here. There's phone call number 1 begins.
Are you home?
Yeah.
Oh, the ring just went off. I want to make sure somebody wasn't trying to stalk you.
Oh, no, I was there. I just got my ears off.
Okay, that's something.
Thanks, though.
Okay, well, trying to watch out for you.
Good, thank you.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
What's your plans tonight?
We have the dog both
I can't hear you, baby. What?
Huh?
I couldn't hear you. You have what?
Our dog both tonight.
Oh, that's tonight?
Yeah.
What time?
7.
8. Okay. Looks like I'm working a little bit late.
It's okay. We're probably gonna lose anyways.
Huh. Okay. Who's on your team? Huh. Okay.
Okay.
I'll kick some ass.
So okay.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Now, this is a guy, a CBI agent. His name is Doug Pearson. He's over there just sitting in his patrol car. They gave me a lot of footage. I was like, whoa, what's all this? So of course I listened to the whole thing. The first video is nearly 50 minutes long. The second controversial video is more than 37 minutes long. So I just sat through like a long time editing this sucker. I'm still uploading it on Patreon. But let me tell you what it's all about. Douglas Pearson, CBI agent, sitting in his patrol car most of the time. Valentine's Day 2024. He's waiting on the SWAT team to show up. He explains it somewhere in the video. They have some kind of body warrant on someone or whatever. They're waiting for him to show up. So while he's waiting, he's listening to music and doing all this stuff, and he doesn't know his body cam is activated, and the visuals are nothing to see. He must have it laying somewhere, maybe on the seat or whatever, but it's the audio that's gotten him in trouble.
Hi, Valentine.
What are you doing, Valentine?
Just waiting on the fucking SWAT team to get here.
Don't they realize tonight is a national holiday?
Yeah. And she's waiting for her roses right now.
Yeah. The stem is in your hands.
I'm gonna put my stem in your flower.
Yeah.
Right in your little rosebud.
Well, I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that. I'm gonna try to get some requisitions approved and I'll start this place. I just saw he was telling us in employee forum today his was in Kansas City at the parade, and I called me and said that there was a shooting.
In Kansas City?
Oh yeah. Said he's been talking to people. Well, I texted him and I said, oh my God, you just said in employee forum that there was at the parade and that you were jealous and supposed to be there, yada yada. And I said, okay, I just heard about the shooting. And then he replied back and said, yes, she is. And then I just saw him in the hallway and he said he was just talking to friends and they said they have 22 victims at Research Hospital, one confirmed dead, multiple critically injured, and they've detained the gunman.
Wow.
I haven't looked it up or anything. I want to see about it, but what the fuck?
Well, that's just fucking great.
Yeah. Are you looking it up or?
Yeah, I was gonna see what I could find here.
Anyway, he just said, thank you for asking and being concerned. I was like, oh my God, my heart fucking stopped.
Let me guess, fucking. Kansas City Chiefs Parade shooting. More than 20 injured.
What did it say?
More than 20 injured at the parade shooting. Three people have been detained.
3 people?
That's other than this one.
Wow.
Listen to this. A witness at the parade, who is legally blind, described the moment a stranger pulled her into safety after the gunshots were heard. Jesus.
Aww. It's a little crazy.
Yeah. 1 dead, 20 injured. 8 victims had immediate life-threatening injuries.
You know that death toll's gonna go up. That sucks. So, what are you thinking?
What am I thinking about? What?
Your work, what's happening?
Oh, well, it's just a body warrant. We might have a fugitive in this house, so SWAT's gonna hit it. It shouldn't be a long time after that because I think they're just looking for his person, so I don't know if they got a search warrant for other stuff and have to search the house or what. It's not my case. I've just been sitting out here all fucking day.
Oh, that's, efficient.
Well, that's what happens on these things for surveillance, but when it's not your case, you don't really have a whole lot of details about shit, so you just kind of hang out and see if you're needed.
Okay, honey, well, I guess we could still drive out look at our house. I'm sure it's locked up, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, plus it'll be fucking dark by the time we get out there, so. Okay. Beautiful. I'll let you on down. got her dodgeball tournament tonight, so she should be leaving here pretty soon.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Maybe we can go to dinner.
Okay, baby. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
Be safe.
I will. Bye.
I love you.
So, CBI agent Doug Pearson, he was on duty. He thought he was all alone in his patrol car, but Pearson didn't realize that his all-seeing body-worn camera was capturing a couple of his phone calls to a couple of women, and one of those phone calls was problematic, and it's going viral. So, he was waiting again for the SWAT team to show up, and then he's obviously doing a bit of talk to text. He says something like, "If I ever get your full attention, I will feel very fortunate." I don't know who he's telling that to.
If I ever get your full attention, I will feel very fortunate.
And maybe he's talking shop or something. He says, "I'm supposed to meet with him soon, but now maybe I don't want to." That's frickin' stupid.
I hope he knows he has to do 50 push-ups before he can go in that door to the briefing.
Sorry, Kira. Sorry, Kira.
To a Denver guy that said that they had a drive-by shooting with a rifle at the aquarium and one person's dead and the suspects are outstanding. So they'll be tapping Denver's resources here this evening. Copy. Hey guys, can you guys all transfer to Blue Southwest? It is in this zone. Blue Southwest.
Hey Mike, is Metro going to be on that channel too? Radio check on Blue Southwest. I confirm Metro's going to be monitoring this channel for updates when they approach. I'm supposed to meet with him soon. But now maybe I don't want to. That's freaking stupid.
And then he's definitely talking shop here. He says so many prosecutors are afraid of that charge also. We did a murder coca. I was trying to look up, what is he saying there? In Jeffco. So that's Jefferson County. I know they have that out there in Colorado. He said in Jeffco, and they are clueless, effing clueless, he says. If it wasn't for redacted, it never would have happened.
So many prosecutors are afraid of that charge also. We did a murder coca in Jeffco and they are fucking clueless, period. If it wasn't, it never would have happened.
I wonder whose name he said there. Because what's so controversial about this racial slur that Doug Pearson is going to use as a member of the law, a member of law enforcement, CBI, is that his colleagues, former and current colleagues, are accusing his buddy-buddy relationship with this bigwig in Colorado as the reason why Doug is getting off easy regarding the stuff he says. Okay, so if you listen to the whole video, you'll hear Doug listening to a version of Gangsta's Paradise that isn't Coolio. It sounds good. And other songs, you know, he's listening to these rock songs. Of course, I can't play that on YouTube either. So first I heard Pearson call this woman. He's asking her if she's home because their ring alert must have gone off. So he wanted to make sure no one was trying to stalk her, he said. They keep telling each other they love one another multiple times. And then I realized, oh, this sounds like it's his daughter.
Are you home?
Yeah.
Oh, the ring just went off. I want to make sure somebody wasn't trying to stalk you.
Oh, no, I don't think I just dropped my earrings off. What?
Okay, there's something.
Thanks, so.
Okay, well, trying to watch out for you.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
She tells Doug she has some kind of dodgeball game that night, and he said he would be working late. There's some redactions throughout there, for privacy's sake, I guess. He tells her, kick some butt. Phone call number 2. This is the controversial one. It's at the 17:19:01 mark. Maybe it's 5:19 p.m. That's his Axon body cam time. The second phone call begins. This woman sounds different than the first woman. At first I was like, whoa, who this woman? I thought he was cheating or something, but no, it just sounds like he spoke with his daughter and then perhaps his wife. I'm assuming it's his wife. I don't know for sure. She sounds more mature. I think it is his wife. He's telling her that the other woman he spoke with has a dodgeball tournament or something that night, so I thought he's probably talking to his wife about his daughter has a dodgeball game. And then, since it's Valentine's Day, Pearson talks about sticking his stem in the flower of the woman I assume is his wife.
The stem is in your pants.
I'm gonna put my stem in your flower.
So he's wishing her a happy Valentine's Day, talking and all that. And then the talk turns to the violence that happened that day. The woman tells him, look, there was a mass shooting during the Kansas City Chiefs Champions Victory Parade. And she tells him about 22 injuries and 1 person dead at that point. So he's pausing, and then she's asking him, like, are you looking up the info I'm telling you? And then he's like, yeah. And he starts speculating on who might have been responsible for the shooting. This is where he sticks his foot in his mouth. He says, let me guess, some effing N-words.
Let me guess.
Plunder. True crime audio. Now, the woman, she doesn't really reply, or people didn't hear her reply, but I heard her really quietly. She sounded a little exasperated and upset, and she just goes, I don't know, who knows? So Pearson didn't know it, but he accidentally had activated his body-worn camera that entire time, and it caught something very insulting and untoward, especially for an officer of the law who is trained to make split-second decisions and not to have implicit bias or jump to conclusions. Denver 7 and Denver Post were all over this. So despite this internal investigation into that incident, because what happened was they saw a 37-minute body cam video, I guess, during this time, and they were like, wait a minute, why is this so long? What was going on? Internal investigators watched it and they caught the slur. So despite the internal investigation into the incident, multiple informed sources, at least 4 current and former employees, spoke with Denver 7 Investigates. According to them, they believe Pearson did not receive enough discipline over that racial slur. And the reason he got off light, and they won't even tell us his discipline, is because of his close personal relationship with CBI Director Chris Schaefer. Whew. CBI, my goodness. One of those employees spoke on camera in a silhouette to protect their identity. I mean, you can see.
Anyone else, in my opinion, that did what he did that day would no longer work at the CBI today.
Watch the videos I'm linking to my sources from Denver 7, Denver Post below. All these people, like only one of them spoke on camera. The guy is all in silhouette with his voice changed. I mean, it is like fear. It's sad. They all said they fear retaliation for speaking to the media. This anonymous guy said they're not being accountable. They're not being transparent. They don't want to talk about it. They want to cover it up and move on. And to me, the sad thing about racism and implicit bias and all this stuff shown in this officer who's obviously trained. I mean, he has a history of working for different Colorado police departments, or at least one in Aurora, one in Las Vegas. Now he's with CBI. The sad thing about it is this officer of the law is charged with making, split-second decisions on who's the bad guy, who to shoot, who not to shoot. And we've seen some body cam footage recently. If you look at True Crime with Strategic Eyes over there, his YouTube and Patreon, he's doing a great job analyzing one specific situation. To me, officers like Pearson, we're trusting them to walk up on a situation and know immediately, assess it without any bias and determine, oh boy, who's the bad guy here. And the fact that he heard about the Kansas City shooting and he was able to make his mind up right away about who the culprits are without any evidence to the contrary, that's scary to me. Now, I've been watching that latest JonBenet Ramsey docuseries on Netflix. It just dropped yesterday. It started streaming. So it's 3-episode series. It's really good. It's called Cold Case. Who Killed JonBenet Ramsey? So it began streaming yesterday, Monday, November 25th, 2024. I'm learning things I never knew about this case that happened, unfortunately, the day after Christmas, December 26, 1996. It's nearly 30 years ago. I still remember it. First moving to Ohio, I heard about this horrible case, this little beautiful beauty queen girl murdered so horribly. Oh my goodness, if you watch the documentary, it's stuff I knew about the scene, but just to hear it again, it's horrible. But I'm still learning. I followed that case almost really from the beginning. I was thinking if they had all the technology we have these days, maybe that case would have been solved. And perhaps if there wasn't as much police bias in this case, maybe it would have been solved. I still don't know. I don't know who's guilty. But once certain police officers decided that same day that JonBenet was found dead, they knew, some of them knew, oh, it's her dad, John Ramsey, he's the culprit. And they started feeding lies to the media. And they even withheld other facts like DNA that was found on the scene that was not attributable to anyone in the family. Not little Burke, her brother, not her mother or her dad. The police withheld that information, didn't tell the media. Certain members of the force leaked other lies to the media and, in essence, made liars out of reporters. That's all some reporters had to go on. And if a cop is telling them John Ramsey flew his own daughter's body over to Atlanta for her funeral, and all these things were lies, it just blew my mind. But it blew my mind to have tunnel vision as a cop is not a good thing. As soon as JonBenet's body was found in the basement of their house, one cop leaned over to another and said, "See, I knew the parents did it just because of where this little girl's body was found." And I thought, oh my goodness, what kind of detective can you be if a little girl's body is found in her family home in the basement, and that immediately, just that notion, that fact alone, seals the deal for you and lets you know her parents did it. Case closed. Anyway, that's why implicit bias or jumping to conclusions or not letting evidence literally lead you is a bad thing. So in Pearson's case, this investigative report, the conclusion, it stated that such behavior of a CBI agent would bring the CBI into disrepute if it was publicly known, and brings discredit upon Agent Pearson as an employee of CBI. So it sounds like, did they not want it to get out at all? So the report ends by saying it recommends the investigation be, quote, sustained. So meaning investigators felt they found enough evidence to support the allegations. Someone that's trusted to uphold the laws of the state of Colorado is a racist. He's out of control. That's what the informed source, the guy in dark on the news, is saying. He said, I think it's absolutely disgusting. It rolled off his tongue so quickly, so cavalierly. That language is never acceptable, let alone from a law enforcement officer. These Denver journalists are not letting it go, but a CBI spokesperson would not grant interview requests for Pearson and the director, Schaefer. And get this, they've put in open records requests. They want to know, okay, what was the disciplinary action taken against Pearson for this racial slur? They denied it. They denied that FOIA. So they couldn't even tell the media. They can't even tell us, oh, yeah, Pearson was suspended without pay for 30 days or 90 days, or, we don't know what the heck happened to him, if anything. I think they would have been better off just letting that part go, just saying this was his discipline and leaving it at that. But a statement from Schaefer notes that the agent was investigated, the findings sustained, and discipline issued. And they have his full statement at the links below. But the anonymous source to Denver 7 said anyone else, in my opinion, that did what he did that day would no longer be working at the CBI today. And we don't know Pearson's exact punishment. But the source said, I will tell you what didn't happen. What didn't happen is he was not suspended. He kept working. He's still actively involved in cases. So Denver Denver 7 investigates. They did get a copy of Pearson's time card, at least from April 1st through September 26th. Now remember, this incident happened on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So did anything happen immediately? We don't know. They saw his time card from April 1st through September 26th. It doesn't show any time off for any disciplinary reasons. Now, the source is saying, I'm telling you right now, anyone else says that except Chris Schaefer's best friend, they're fired. I promise. So this source is telling Denver 7 investigates that since Schaefer and Pearson are such best buds, they go on trips together, I guess work trips and non-work trips, as I understand it. They speak at conventions with law enforcement groups. They're claiming this close relationship is why Doug was not, the hammer didn't fall on him, basically. Denver 7 investigates also discovered that Pearson and Schaefer taught courses on outlaw motorcycle gangs and all this stuff. They found this 2017 Facebook group post, and Denver 7 even spoke with a CBI spokesperson, and they confirmed that Schaefer and Pearson have a decades-long personal relationship. It's this relationship that is causing issues, according to Denver 7, among CBI's rank-and-file members, some of whom feel Pearson should have received a harsher punishment. We don't even know what punishment he received, but the source says, it's causing dissension, I guess, among employees. I can imagine. The source said they're angry, they're frustrated, frankly, they're embarrassed. This is allowed to happen. A different source wrote a statement, said the hardworking men and women of CBI deserve better and should not be subject to the ugliness of Pearson. And the message Director Schaefer is sending by protecting his close friend. The guy in silhouette is saying, that anonymous source is saying, look, more drastic steps need to take place to repair the situation. Quote, Agent Pearson needs to be fired, first of all. Anybody else would have been. And honestly, I think Director Schaefer needs to step down. I think he is beyond saving this. I think he has done this for too long. I think he's lost all credibility. I can't help but think about Colorado when I read all this stuff and some of the battles. The victories God has helped me win in dealing with them just as a YouTuber trying to get normal stuff. Like the Nicole Kessinger interview, Chris Watts' famous mistress, trying to get that from CBI. I had to literally write up a letter, an intent to sue PDF, figure out how to do that and send it to CBI agents, and just to get that video released. I tried for years and years, and thank God it was released, and now everyone's using it by the grace of God. It should have just been a normal thing to release, and that was always weird that they didn't. And then more recently, again, the Chris Watts case, but dealing with that DA out there and that whole brouhaha with an excerpt from his wife's podcast. Oh my goodness. Let's move on. Denver Post, Shelley Bradbury, she's on top of it too. She just published this recently, this updated article for the Denver Post recently, and she talks about this CBI agent is keeping his job after being caught using the racist slur on bodycam. So she describes the whole thing of him accidentally recording himself during the phone call. Once I read this is when I requested the bodycam footage, because it says Agent Doug Pearson was on duty and alone in his patrol car. He used the slur during a personal phone conversation on February 14th. It says, according to a partially redacted internal affairs report and body-worn camera footage released to the Denver Post on Wednesday in response to an open records request. Boy, as soon as I read that, I was like, give it to me too. Give it to me too. And they gave me both videos, thankfully. Talks about Pearson, how he was formerly with Aurora Police Department. And might I say, a lot of these departments are great. I don't mean to come against all of Colorado. Aurora was great with finding and giving me stuff from Nicole Kessinger's past. There's so many good things. But this is what's a trip. Okay, the Denver Post is fighting. They were fighting to figure out, okay, what discipline did Pearson face? CBI won't tell them. First off, CBI agency officials initially cited state personnel rules for refusing to disclose Pearson's discipline. But then they shifted that explanation after the Denver Post asked for more details. So they're fighting back, which is great, which is what we are taught. The more and more I learn about FOIA requests, so many get denied. And so many get denied sometimes for weird reasons. Sometimes it's like, okay, the case is still ongoing. I can't give you this stuff. It might hurt the case. I totally understand that. But after the case closes, I'm like, wait a minute. Why aren't you still giving us this information? So the Post pushed back against them saying, state personnel rules. The Post was probably like, give me the exact statute. What are you citing? What law exactly are you citing? Why are you hiding Pearson's disciplinary actions results from us? Okay, so then they cited the Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act. So they switched it. CBI is first saying, oh, it's state personnel rules. That's why we can't tell you how we discipline Pearson. Then they switch it to the CCJRA, that Records Act. It governs the release of law enforcement records. Quote, this law requires the consideration and analysis of several factors, including individual privacy concerns and the public interest to be served in allowing inspection. That's what CBI spokesman Rob Lowe told the Post. So CBI denied the requested records after conducting this analysis. Well, let's hope this case, Lord willing, in Jesus' name, gets enough public interest for them to tell us what happened to Pearson. If they decided not to fire him, okay, that's their choice, but tell us how he was disciplined. So Schaefer, the director, Chris Schaefer, he has this long-term personal friendship with Pearson. That was acknowledged. But Schaefer is saying, look, I was not involved in this internal affairs investigation. So Schaefer said, racist language violates our core tenet of respect towards everyone. If we don't show respect at all times, we can't expect it in return. I expect everyone within the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to act with integrity and honor at all times. The public expects and deserves nothing less. Jeff Roberts, this executive director of the Colorado Freedom of Information Coalition, he said CBI is relying on some loophole in Colorado law to keep Pearson's discipline a secret. So in Colorado, lawmakers in 2019 required law enforcement agencies to make public internal affairs reports and disciplinary findings, make them public, but only if the investigation is about a, quote, specific identifiable incident of alleged misconduct involving a member of the public. So they're saying Pearson's call was a personal call. He wasn't interacting with a member of the public. All these other cops, however, were fired for using the N-word while on duty. That's why this Jeff Roberts guy is calling on lawmakers to broaden the whole scope of the mandated transparency for police disciplinary records. There is a reason that these records should see the light of day. He said, we're talking about public servants who have a lot of power, and when there are allegations of misconduct and there is an investigation into that, there is a definite public interest in the outcome of that investigation, which includes what happened to the agent or the officer. Indeed. I'm glad he, I guess, accidentally had his body cam video going. It's sad it caught such language and feelings, and is that what's inside of him? It's just sad. And it's so sad that even his colleagues are just afraid to speak out, and they're like speaking to these Denver publications in secret to say, this is causing a rift. This is a problem. He's buddy-buddy with the director, and that's why he's getting away with this. Like I always say, God knows all. He's the ultimate chief. He's the chief justice. He's the chief over everything. So we'll see where this goes. 2 Thessalonians 1:6-8. For after all, it is only just for God to repay with distress those who distress you, and to give relief to you who are so distressed, and to us as well when the Lord Jesus is revealed from heaven with his mighty angels in a flame of fire, dealing out full and complete vengeance to those who do not seek to know God, and to those who ignore and refuse to obey the gospel of our Lord Jesus by choosing not to respond to him. I hope this whole brouhaha has taught, the responsible parties something. Be kind to one another. Don't hold biases. Don't hide disciplinary records. Maybe that makes it even more controversial than if you would have just given us the discipline. Is the discipline so light or non-existent? What is going on here? When you keep things a secret, people just blow them up in their minds to even something even worse. Anyway, Thanks for watching all this. I've got more body cams coming. I've got some coming from Atlanta, you know, the Kim Zolciak situation. I've got more coming. There should be more coming from Florida. There's a lot of stuff coming from different cases, not necessarily videos from Florida. Maybe. I don't know what we're gonna get. We'll see. Everything's a day by day. With this FOIA public records thing, boy, I feel like some people look for any excuse just to reject FOIAs, and then others, they're pretty forthcoming with it, thankfully, because that's what they're there for. That's what the body cams are there for. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
Metro 3 to detectives. Just to let you know, we're in our staging area. We're getting all our gear on, and I'll let you know when we're heading your way. It'll probably take a few minutes due to traffic.